placed England into a third national lockdown until at least the middle of February, following warnings from experts that the NHS is at risk of being overwhelmed. Prime Minister said the new variant of coronavirus spreading across the country at an alarming rate and could threaten the capacity of the NHS in just 3 weeks unless urgent action was taken. He instructed the public to stay at home as he announces that from tomorrow all schools and non-essential shops will be closed in England. GCSE and A-level exams are now also unlikely to go ahead as planned. The Prime Minister made his decision to lock down the country again after he was shown evidence that the number of COVID patients in hospitals in England has increased by nearly a third in the last week alone to almost 27,000. New daily confirmed cases also reached a record high of 58,784. At the same time, the UK's Chief Medical Officer agreed to raise the COVID alert level from 4 to 5 for the first time, indicating a risk that healthcare services could be overwhelmed within 21 days. In a sign of the problem facing parts of the country, Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon had earlier announced a new lockdown north of the border, saying she believes Scotland was currently around 4 weeks behind London on the curve of the pandemic. In a television message from Downing Street, Mr Johnson warned that the weeks ahead would be the hardest yet.
Wow.
The restrictions will become law as from tomorrow. So he said he was instructing the public to stay at home from tonight. Just a day after he proclaimed they were safe for children, Mr Johnson closed every school in England. All primary schools, secondary schools and colleges will be closed from tomorrow, although nurseries will remain open. Workers will be told only to leave their house if it is impossible to do their job from home. All students will also be told to stay at home and not return to campus for the new term. It's thought the only exceptions will be for a small number of practical courses such as medicine. All retail will be closed, and while restaurants can continue to offer delivery or takeaway services, they will not be allowed to sell alcohol as ministers try to crack down on socialising. Similarly, adults will be allowed to meet another person from a different household, but only to exercise, not to socialise.
So what do you
Basically,
think?
what he's saying, if Sarah wanted to go and meet her mum to go running, this is what he's saying. Yeah, basically, this is what he's saying. Adults will be allowed to meet another person from a different household, but only to exercise, not simply to socialise. So that will be the only reason that you can actually leave your house to go and meet somebody else from another household if you're going to exercise. As during the March lockdown, government sources made clear the police would have the powers to implement the new rules with fines.
What fine is it? How much?
£1,000.
Again.
The toughening
It has to
measures
be
are
bigger.
expected to remain in place until February mid-term break. Ministers hope the new restrictions will give the NHS time to vaccinate millions against COVID-19 before the disease overwhelms the health service. It is understood there will be no exemption from the lockdown for those who have recently received a vaccine. Making the announcement, Mr Johnson said it's clear we need to do more together to bring this new variant under control while our vaccines are rolled out. In England, we must therefore go into a national lockdown which is tough enough to contain this variant. I urge everyone to comply with the package that the Prime Minister outlined to follow the guidance.
So what do you think? When will I be able to actually see Dad again? Is it the end, like when the COVID's all gone away?
The number of deaths in England is up 20% week on week, and sadly will rise further. And it's clear that we need to do more to bring this new variant under control. On Sunday, there were 50,000 new confirmed coronavirus cases for the sixth day in a row. There have now been 390,000 positive tests in the last 7 days. In the last 7 days, there have been 4,278 deaths, an increase of 741 on the previous week.